So in continuation from the other video, so start with the header. So we have the Dr. HTML head tag, the body tag. So for the head tag, heading section, I'm going to use my header tag for that. And inside my header tag, let me cancel this. So in the header tag, just to sectionalize it, I have the header tag that's going to be holding this, but I also have like a div tag that's going to serve as a parent tag holding these two items. So I'm going to create my parent tag, the div. So inside the div, I have two items, div 1, then the div 2. Inside the div 1, okay, I have my, let's see that again. I have div for my logo. So I'm going to be using heading tag there. So it's like let's say H2, and I'll call it snap. And inside the first item, we have two div. The first item inside the first div is the logo, which is like the text there, and we also have container for the menu links. So I'm going to be using anchor tags there. So I'll use my A tag. So we have features, company, careers, and about. So features, I'm going to put my href there. So I'm going to duplicate this. Or instead of using div, I'm going to use what we call the nav tag. So nav tag can be used to hold the nav items. So nav. So we have features. Features what? Company, career, about. Features, company, careers, then about. Okay, so this is for the first item. This is for the second item. We have two buttons there, but I want to be using the anchor tags. So the first one is, I think, login, while the second one should be register. So I'm going to still put the href, then href. So let's see what we're working on. I'm going to right click and open with live server. So this is what we have. We have this first item holding the logo and the nav item.
This is H2 or H1?
I use H2.
So like you make this
Yes. Okay, so we have the first item holding the logo and this nav items, and we also have the second item holding the login and the register, like what we have here. So let's attach our external CSS to this. So let's give them class names. So this header tag is just going to be like a section that we're working on, the header section. This is the parent tag holding the two items. You can see when I close it. So I'm going to give it a class name, and I'll call it header container. So this is the first item, which has the logo and the nav link. So I'm going to give this, I'll call it logo and nav links. Okay, so inside the logo and nav link container, we have the logo there. I'm giving a class name. I'll call this logo container. While this other one, I'll give it a class name and I'll call it menu nav links.
What is numbness?
The nav links is this one now. This one. These are the nav links.
So
Navigation links.
okay. Is it that drop down?
Yes. We are not putting the drop down there. We are not putting this icon there. We just leave it as normal text.
So
Normal
okay,
links.
so that's why you use
Anchor tag.
anchor tag.
Yes. Nav link container. Okay. So the last one here we have the button. The second item we have the button container. Okay, so we are good to go. So we have our external CSS, but we've not attached this here. So I'm going to write a comment and say external, yes, CSS link. So I'm going to put the link there. So link rel style sheets. Then my href, we have style.css. Then I close my tab. So I'm going to be using Google font. So I'll go and get my Google font. Okay. So the Google font, I'm going to be using the same Montserrat. Okay, I think I clicked on it earlier. So yeah, Montserrat. Get embedded code. And I copy this first one, the links. So I want to paste it here, write a comment and say Google fonts. And I paste it here. Alright, so we are good to go. We're able to attach the external CSS to our HTML. So now let's start the styling. I'm gonna put the CSS here. Then I can close this. So the first thing I'm going to do is to remove the extra margin and padding from the body. I have M0 padding, margin 0 for all sides. We also have padding 0. Then I can paste this Montserrat styling, copy, then paste it there. So let's see what we have. So I can cancel this from here. Yeah, so this is it. You can also decide to add favicon, which I've talked about in the earlier class. Were you able to put the favicon that time? Okay. So let's start. So when you're dealing with, you're going to be using Flex for all the sections there. So this is the nearest parent, the parent container holding the two items. The header container, you can see is holding the first item. Where is the first item? The first item is this. If you can say 3 items and you do justify content space between, this one might just come to the middle here. But because the space here is very little, so you can just put them together as one item. So the first item called the header the logo and the nav link container. Logo and nav link. I'll use space between, so I'll reduce the width, because if I use space around, the space around here now to be too much, might be here and it will be here. I can see just little space here. We'll see the difference, yeah. So let's go about it. So we have the first item, which has the logo and the nav link. That's the logo here, snap and the nav link. While the second item has the two links here, the login and the register. So I'm just going to call the parent container, which is the header container. So I'll do this for my curly braces. First thing I'll do is my display what? So display flex. So let's see that. So we have this, you can see that together. Yeah, this is like this. Because this one in the same div. The logo and this. I have to do another flexing.
This log the flex, it only work for the login.
And the first, then there are two items. This is the first item, second item.
Wait, which is the first item?
The snap and the nav links. I put them together. So that's why. You will do like this on my jump here. This one will jump here. Let me do justify content. So display flex and let's see, justify content. I'm using my space between. Let's see that. So you can see this one is coming here, this one is coming here. If you use your space around, let's see space around. See space around. The space here might be too much. So I'll just stick to my space between and reduce the width. The two items. So the flex I did, the container holding the two items here. So I group this together inside one div, and I group this together inside one div. So we have two items, one for this and the other one for this. So then when I do my flex and justify content, it's going to put this one side, put this one side. You can see our one is still down here. We have to use another flex to bring this one here. That means the div that is holding just these two, we do another flex here so that this one can come here. You understand? So I'm going to stick to my space between. Alright, I'll go and do the other one so that I can have it balanced. So this is the container. This logo and nav link is the container holding the logo and the nav link container. So let's apply our display flex there. So anytime you want to bring a tag up to the side, you use your display flex, then it brings it to the side. So display, I use my flex. So let's see that. So you can see we have this now, it's already up, but it's not on the same. You can see it's flying here. It's at the top here. So what I want to do is to use my align items. So align items, we have center. Yes, so you can see it's now on the same line. So let's go back to the div that is holding the two items and apply our align items too. So, yes, I'm going to reduce this. So you can see now everything are now on the same line using just flex. Alright, so let's reduce the weight on the other container. So I have my weight from 100%, I reduce it to 90, just a little. So let's see that. So you can see it I reduced to 90, but it's not at the center. I'm going to use my margin auto. So margin 0 pixels for left, for top and bottom. Auto is one that does the centering. So margin auto. So yeah, this is what we have. Alright. Okay.
what?
Margin auto to put at the center, so the space here now is now okay. You can see it's smaller and it's okay than the space around. So now let's give this space a little bit. So just like we have here, you can see there's a little bit space here separating the logo and this. So is either I give this my container here that's holding this logo margin right, or I give the container holding this margin left. So whichever one works. I'm going to just use um let's use the nav link. So nav link container is one that's holding all the nav link. So let me specify it. I'm using it that way. So that when I move to the other one, to show that I'm just working on the header. So I'll still call our header here. Then I have my nav link container, and I'll just do a margin left. Margin left, let's say 20 pixels. Let's see that. Yeah, so we have the space here, but it's not enough. You can try to do it for the logo container too, but let's increase it to 30. Alright, so we have this. So let's work on this. This one doesn't need much styling,
Yes.
but the first letter is small.
Now, it has this thing over.
Over effect.
Yes.
Let's see. Doesn't have over effect, just like that. But let's reduce the size of it. So I'm going to call after this. So header, then the logo container here. This particular class name holding the logo. Then my H2 is H2 to style because we use H2 there for the logo. So I'm going to reduce the font size. So font size, let's say 18 pixels. So yeah, it's smaller. And I think it's a little bit jam packed, but it's not as spacious as our own here.
Now, I think it's a little like more big.
Our one,
Like more small. You mentioned the small. The one
ours
here.
is smaller. Or is it the font? Let's increase the font width. Yeah, you see me. size, font weight, I mean, font weight, let's say 800. Are you here? So we have this snap, and let's give it, okay, we're giving it size already. Okay, so we are done with that. And we have the other one, the nav links. So let's style the anchor tags inside the nav links. So we have the nav link container there. So we can just call our A in the second one. Header dot nav link container. So if the A we want to start A. So let's reduce the font size. So font size, let's make it 13 pixels. Are you here? Okay. Why don't work your mouse?
No, not to connect it.
I thought you did that this morning.
You know, it's working like this.
So what are you still connecting?
Not to connect it. It's not connecting app to it.
Okay, but at least you can still do that next in the after the class. So we reduce the size of the anchor tag. So let's color it color. So we have black. Text decoration, to remove the underline. To text decoration, we have none. Alright, so this is how it is. So but you can see the spacing is too jam packed, so we can use margin. I don't like using padding, it might reduce it. Let's reduce the, yes, either one you want. So you can just stick to margin left so I can have more space here. So margin left, let's say 20 pixels. That's what we have. Are you here? So let's add the overing effect. I think the color is gray, not black.
I do this like this now.
You're not listening now. What is that? Which one? Like what did I do?
No, like to be small.
I reduced the size, font size. I gave it 12. Color gray. Text decoration.
And this is the not show again.
What is that?
The font. What's the name of that font again? There.
It's there now. This is how Montserrat look like.
Okay, this is like that.
Yes, this is how it looks like compared to the default. If you comment the Montserrat now, you see that there's a whole lot of difference. You can see. So it's there already. So let's add the overing effect. So I'm just going to duplicate this. I did it twice. So I'm going to add.
Is it sheet?
Yes. Is the answer now? So we have the over. So I'm going to change the color when I over on it. So color, you say black. Alright? Yeah, you're doing business center in our office.
Oh.
You come and charge.
No, I don't charge.
But you quickly go and come back. If you see anybody too, either this guy. Hope there's no issue. Never that I didn't wait for you because this now we just be this is 46. You just need to just collect money. You spend like 30 minutes outside. The man will pay. You pay man outside.
No, I wanted to give my security man.
Is he here?
There.
Is
No, I told him to come. But I went outside. I used leg. Even in church, he never come. So I now blow back to him. I'm not going to saw him. But using bicycle to come here and give me school.
Or is it bicycle?
They are so new.
Okay.
I went to buy something. See, let me just tell you, the two that I'm trying to set up a shop
Yeah.
in my yes.
Ah.
I won't be open to that side. I will buy it.
But I don't stay here though.
Okay.
I'm coming from Becca.
Anyway, oh, I was thinking, no, I'm trying to set up a shop. So,
That's strategical.
yeah, so, because I need to.
And your food is good. It's like
No, but I'll not be, the food cooking is just this thing, strictly on order. What I want to do
okay.
is,
You can don't you know we have an application here, a software here. So we can this ordering you are doing, we will just add your brand to the software. Then anytime we need food, we just buy them and they'll bring it to us here.
ah,
Yes, sir.
see my man.
Ah, this is nice. JD. This is like supermarket, it's not like food.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm selling.
Okay.
The food on is strictly on order.
Okay.
Still trying to.
Like private something.
No, if someone orders, I will not cook for the person. That my street is so. You start cooking food there. Not only with later, with two other people.
Why? Only you is cancel something. It's
It's
estate.
it's an estate.
Oh,
So
okay.
everybody goes to Lagos.
Okay,
Go
go
and
and get
work.
me.
Come back in the evening.
Hmm.
So people they will live in the house, but all these elderly people, small children, when you put them like the only me and two others.
We want to set it up here around Magoro.
That's
Okay.
what that I thought of my house.
Alright.
So that's my buy this. I use like finish, I know sell.
So you just went there yourself.
I don't understand and waiting, so I have to go back and go do
No problem. So we've gone a little bit far. But hopefully when you watch, I'll just like brief through. So this is what we did. We created and put my water here. So we have a header tag here. So the header tag will just serve as just okay. This is we're working on the header. Okay, so this is the header tag. All right. Then we created another tag called a div tag called header container. So this is the one that is closer to the parent tag. And when I was explaining Flexbox, I said that is the parent tag that is closer to the items you're going to focus on. You won't focus on the one that is like higher. You look at the one that is closer to the items. And from what we are working on, we have how many items here? 2 items, 1 and 2. Because if you say we have 3, if you do your justified content, you know justified content is the movement between the item like on the horizontal pattern. If you listen to the recording, is how this item move like this, or move like this. So if you say we have 3 items, this one if we use justify content, maybe space between, this one might go to the center. So the best way is to put these 2 together. So the tag that is holding these 2 items, I will call this header container, just like this here, header container. And we have, and inside the header container, we have 2 items. Okay, see this is the first item. The first item is the one that is holding the logo and the nav link or the menu links. Okay, and the other item, second item is just holding the login and the register, the anchor tag or the button tag, whatever one you put inside. So starting from this first div tag, I separated it. I gave it 2 different div. One div is going to hold the logo and the other div is going to hold the menu link, just to make my work organized. Just like you can see here, from the first item here, logo and nav link, I have 2 other items inside. One is for the logo, and I created a div tag for the logo, see logo container, and also created another div tag for the nav links. And inside the nav link, like I said, we have another tag called nav. So this nav can be used as a container to hold all your menu links on the header. So this is what we did. So we now started styling. So on the header container, I said whenever you want to use your flex, the first thing is to first consider the items inside the container. So the item inside the container will determine what am I going to do next. And you can see we have 2 items here. So when we've considered that, we go to our CSS, go and pick the class name of the parent container. So for this one now, the parent container is called the header container. Then we go to our CSS, and the first thing you need to do is to do your display flex. And I say if you don't do your display flex and you move to the next one, it won't work. So you have to do your display flex first. So what display flex does is that it brings the container to the side, so make it inline. So before, what do we have? Before everything was stacked on each other. This one was here, this one was under, this one was under. So when we did our display flex, these two were together, but this one came to the side. So that what display flex does. It brings container, the block. By default, div is a block element. So it brings the div or any other tag apart from the inline tag, then it brings it to the side for you to work with. So when we did that on our header container holding the two items, we also did our justify content. And I said we have so many examples under justify content. We have justify content center, justify content space between. I also differentiate between, space evenly, space around. So for space between, do your space between. This one goes to the extreme end, and the other item goes to the extreme end, but there will be space in between them. You will do your space around. It will create space here for you. It will create space here for you and create space here for you. That's space around. But the space outside here and outside here will be the same, but the space in between them will be different. It will be more wider. That's for space around. But for space in, all the spaces will be the same. The space here, the space here, and the space here. So what I did is just because of this space here is very little, and if I when we did the space around, it was larger than the template we are working with. So I did my space between, okay, and everything went to the extreme end. Then I reduced the width. So by default, div tag, it occupies the full width. So we have to reduce the width by 90%. So when we reduce the width by 90%, you can see the space that is there. You can see this one at the extreme end. We have to now use our margin auto to put it at the center so that this one can balance it. So that's when we added the margin 0 pixels for top and bottom and auto for left and right. So margin auto allows your div to be centered. So that what we just did there. Okay, and this is what we have here, and we started styling one after the other. So we now pick the first div inside the first item. This is the first div there, the logo container, which is having the logo. So instead of picking logo, I just styled my h2 to look like a logo, and we used Montserrat, that's the fourth family. Alright, so we styled our h2, reduced the size to 80 pixels. We added the thickness of the text, making it 800. Okay, this one does not have units. Then our nav link that is there. So when we did our space between, we still have to do a display flex because this one is inside a div, just like what we did here. Where's the nav link? I'm going to comment this out. So the container that is holding the logo and the nav link, we still have to use our flex there. Okay, this is how it is before. So when we did our display flex, it comes to the side. Okay, so the display flex for the container holding the logo and the nav link. That's the logo and nav link here. So that's why this one was able to come to the side here. And we use our align item to make everything align perfectly, both on this container here and both on the general container. That's why you can see everything is aligned together. So we are styling out. So we styled this one already. So this one, like I said, we didn't put our anchor tag there. So anytime you want, like I said, all logos, when you click on it, it should lead you back to the home page. So we need to enclose this our h2 with anchor tag. For what, you didn't remind me. You have told me that I didn't put it in an anchor tag.
I was asking you, I think you said this.
What did I say? You didn't ask me.
I asked you that what of the anchor tag is.
So let's enclose this so that whenever the user click on the logo, it will obviously take them back to the home page. Here is index, right? So it will say we have to restyle it. So let's change that. So logo container, I'm going to just use the anchor tag here, A, which is one that is holding the H2. It's way bigger. So let's reduce it a bit. Let's say 15 and give it a color of black. Then let's remove the text decoration. Text decoration, no. Yeah, so we are back to this. Let's reduce it a bit and use 13. Yeah, I think this is fine. So we add overing effects on our menu links, and see when it's on normal, it's just green, and when we hover on it, comes black. So let's work on the next one here. So that's the next one here. That's the button container. So I'm going to just put my header to show that okay, I'm working on the header, which is not really compulsory. But the main thing is the button container. So we have the button container. I'm just going to copy this. Copy. Then let's style our anchor tag. So the first thing is to remove the underline. So text decoration, we have none. Then the color should be black. I think. So let's see that. Yeah, so let's reduce the font size. I'm going to use the exact font size there. I'm going to use font size of 12 pixels. Alright, so let's give it, so I'm going to now specify. The first one doesn't have border around it, the second one has border, but I'm still going to put, let's put padding, the main one. So padding, for top and bottom, you can still use 5 or 6 pixels left and right. Let's say 18 pixels. Okay, I think the color should be gray so I can match with this. Because when I hover on it, it should be black. Alright, so we are done with this. So now let's specify. So this register that has border around this, I can just give it btn. Oh, I can give it a class name. I can say btn2.
But it's only one person we have now. Why isn't it two?
We have two now.
Yeah, it's only one.
One for the logo and the other one for the register.
Is the logo button?
One for the login. There are two links here now, login and register, just like we have here. So I created anchor tag for login and register.
Okay. The login did not have border.
Yes. So you don't just type the second one. So I can just copy this. So I can header dot button container. Then I can just call the class this btn2. So I can specify border 1 pixel solid gray. Yes. This is reading my mind. Yeah, so this is what we have. I think 20 pixels is too much. I think this is okay. And when I hover on it, let's add the overing effect. When I hover on it, it should be black. So I'm going to duplicate or copy this, then put it here. It's almost one. So we have to finish this today, no matter what. So anchor tag, then over, then you can specify that the color black. Yeah, so this is it. You can see. Now we are good with the header. You can see how it's looking so neat. Okay. Let's reduce the padding, border radius. What video? Yes. Or if they can join it together, but that would be more MB, more space, more size. So we are done with this. Alright. We don't need more space here. So let's move to the hero section. Alright, so the hero section now, how does it look like? So we have two items too. Alright. 1 and 2. This one that is there is attached to this first div. Okay, and this space that is there is still your you can reduce the width and reduce it to 80% like that, but you can use your justify content space between. So let's just go. So for the first div here, we have heading tag. Like I said, if you don't use break tag here, it's going to affect your mobile view because it will obviously break by default when it's on mobile. And on mobile here, it's not looking, it shouldn't break. Okay, so what are we going to do there? I want to use span tag. So span tag. So what you can do is you can either put them in separate tags. You can call this one h1 h1 and put them in the same div. You know what to do. That's how we can separate it, and we can put these two in the separate div, then put these two in its own div. So but everything will still be in the item 1 div. Then in the item 2 we just have one image. So let's go about that. So let's be fast. So we are done with the header. We can decide to close this to show that okay, we are done with the header part. The next one now. So you know we have header tag, we also have footer, but right now we're not working on footer. But the tag we can use here, you can use what we call the main tag, just to show that okay, this tag is not part of the header nor footer, but just the main tag, the body tag. So inside it, I'm going to be using the is for the arrow section. I don't want to use footer tag because it's not footer you're working on. Are you here?
Yes.
Okay. Why are you doing like this? We are facing down. Alright, so I can now decide to do my section tag to show that okay, I'm working on the just to make my work organized. For fonts, Google fonts. How we attach Google fonts. Yes, pasted it there. Then we added it in our body tags. So automatically everything has it. So section, I can call this hero section. So this is just be like hero section. I'm working on the hero section. You don't want to do anything extra. But the main tag that is going to be holding the two items, I want to use the div tag. Then we have two items there, right? We have one for the content and the other one for the images. Alright, so I can give this a class name. I will call it hero container. So know the difference. Okay. So the first item having the content. So let's give it a class name. I can call this hero content. While the other one I say hero image. Okay. So the hero content. Welcome back. We have the heading tags. So like I said, I need to H1 and I'm going to segment it. I'll put this in its own div. I'll put this in its own div. So this second div has a paragraph and also you can use the button this time here. So it's not going to go anywhere. And the third one has so many images, like 4 images there, image logo. And I already have my logo I did my logo. So this is the logo I'll be using, this one. Alright, so next section is under the hero content. We have, I'm going to be using div for that. I'm going to put, you can see this thing didn't close. That's why I need to close it. So the first div I have, let's use the H1. And I think what is there is make. Alright. Then there's that one, remote work. Okay. So I can give this a class name. I can say hero title. Everything just hero. Hero title. Then inside the content, we still have the paragraph and the button. I'll create a div text. This is not closing, so I have to close it myself. So we have the paragraph. So I'm going to use submit typing everything. Oh, it does it. So paragraph, get your theme, or if not there, we use the lorem. I think something came out there. Yeah. So in order to restart it, I'll put this down. No, that's AI by default. So we have paragraph for the second section of that first div. Then we have the, let's use the button tag this time. Button, and it says learn more. Think so? Yes, learn more. Then the other div that is after that, we have for the logos there. What am I going? Where am I going? So we have div, and we have the image tag, src. Oops. But notice our image is inside a folder. Alright, we check inside this image folder. I have to call the name of the folder and also the name of the image, and the extension. So we have what we call the file paths. Okay, when you are naming, when you are creating folder, because this is just one folder inside my Snapsite folder. I can just use my /, then you can see the image, the name of the folder. Then I'll call, what am I looking for? I think is the hero desktop image. So hero this. Alright, so I think, oh no, it's the other one. Flex images. This one is for the other one. For the logo. So images. Flex image. So you have like four of them there. My voice is echoing back. Yeah. So I'll do this 4 times. Let's see what we have. Alright. Then let's work on the other side of the item, which is just one image inside. So we've been able to do the first item, which is the hero content. The second one is the hero image. So we have the image tag, so src, and we'll call the image, I think this is it. Alright, so let's see that now we have everything done in the HTML. So the first thing I'm going to do is to reduce first. So I can, before I start, 4 times. Alright, so this is how it is here. So I want to reduce the image first. So when I do my flex, you'll be seeing how it's moving. I duplicated it. This is now. This is down here. You're not here. Hmm? Okay. So I can just call this, so in case you have so many sections, I can just call this, like, I'm specifying that this hero section I'm working on when another developer look at my code. Then I want to reduce this size here. So we have hero title for the make remote work. This other one I can call it what should we call it? It has paragraph and button. Okay, you can say hero introduction, hero intro, and the other one is say hero logos. Alright, so is this hero logos? The image inside hero logos I want to reduce first. So I can call hero section and call this. Then is the image itself I want to reduce. So I have to specify that is the image. Because this one now we have so many images now. If I just put image now, it will affect this, affect all the images. So that's why I'm just calling like this, that to specify that only this one I want to reduce. So let's reduce the width. So yeah, let's use 60 pixels. So let's see that first. Yeah, so you can see that reduced it. Alright, so let's reduce this one to a bit. So that is under hero image. So I have to come down here. We have dot hero section. Then yeah, I'll call this which image?
This
For the desktop.
yes, this image. So I can get from the
Yeah, so that's why I showed you the sites. You can download the file, extract it, and get this image there. Just start challenge and to download it for you, then you extract it and you see the images there. But you can use, but okay, you have to use this image for this class. So let's reduce this image. So if you want to maintain the original size, so let's call this, and let's call the main thing the image itself. You want to maintain the original size of the image, so you have to use width 100%. But if you want to reduce, I like to use my pixels. See, the image is still very big, so I just stick to my pixels. So let's see, 350 pixels. Though I might increase it later on. Yeah, so this is what we have. It's a little bit small. Let's say 400. 400. Alright, so this is it. So you can see it's stacked on each other. This is the first item, and this is the first item, and this is the second item. And inside the first item, we have the first div for the title, we have the second div for the intro, and we have third div for the logos. But this one still remains. So now let's work on the structure. So I already named them. So this is hero content is the first item, right? You can see it here, hero content, and the other one hero image. But the nearest parent tag holding them is this hero container. So this is what I want to pick to apply your flex there. Alright, so I'll come down here because it's before hero logos. I'm going to do my dots. Okay, you can see specify hero section, but the main thing is the hero container. Open my curly braces. The next thing I'll do is display was flex. Alright, so let's see the movements. So you can see this one is here. Alright, if you look at what we are working with, you can see the spacing here. Okay. So I'll come back to justify, but I don't think there's this. Let's put it there. Justify content. So I think there are two ways to that. Justify content space between. Still gonna be the same, but it's spacing. So there are two ways you can do this. Also, there are so many ways you can do this. So you can see there's a space here. Either you this div content, either you give the padding right, okay, to create a space here, or you can just create a div here, an empty div that we did the other time there. So but I'm going to just stick to the padding. Everything should be just normal. And you can see the image. Okay, I think this is, you don't need to do my align items, because if you do align items center, Okay, I think this one can go at the bottom, but we'll come back to that. Let's work on the space at the side. So I'm just going to reduce the width of that container. So let's say 80%. Okay, 80%. Let's come here. So you can see it has created the space for me, 80%, but it's not at the center. So I'm not going to use my margin auto. Margin auto, 0 pieces for top and bottom, but the auto is for the sides, right and left. So you can see the space. Reduce this, reduce this. So you can see it's rhyming. Alright. So that's that. So let's work on this.
The middle one.
What middle one?
Like this. This space here.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. You can either put an empty space here, or you can give this container, this one that's holding the contents, you can give it padding right so that it will push this inside.
For here, you give it what? Pattern left.
Where?
This space here.
This space at the bottom.
No. This space and here.
Where? Here?
Yes.
This one here.
Yes.
We did our width now for the content.
This one between this
Wait, let me go.
and the image.
This one and the image.
This one between here and here.
No, this one.
Where?
Here.
Yes, be like here.
Okay, here.
This space here.
Yes.
That's what we did here now. On the hero container, we reduced the width. We didn't do padding though. Just like the header that we reduced the width to 90%, and we now need margin auto to put it at the center. That's what we did now.
Okay, margin auto.
Yes. Okay, let me comment it. So I'm commenting margin auto now. I reduced the width of the container to 90%, 80%. You can see it has reduced to 80%, but it's not at the center. So I'm going to use the margin auto to put it at the center so that it will balance here and balance here. The space is going to balance. That's what I did here. And the space is now balanced. Can you see there's space here and there's space here? Do you understand?
Yes.
Alright, so let's work on this individual. But this is at the very top. Let's see this other one. Okay, you can just give it, we'll come back to that. Let's work on this. So make remote work. So the space here is too much. Probably is the margin. Yes, the margin that is came with. So I'm going to click here. I can see the margin and the margin here. So I'm going to reduce the one for this bottom. Okay, and I'm going to also reduce. I'm going to call them one after the other. So inside this hero content, let's start working on them individually. So this H1, I'm going to give it an ID. I mean, I can call this heading 1, and this one to ID. Yeah, I can say heading 2. So now let's start. Some people can also put comments here to show that okay, I'm working on this, but that time won't allow full permit. Yeah. What's me do?
I think that you can use it to give that stuff from the middle.
This year, Abby.
Yes, the middle.
Yeah, we've not gotten there. Let's do that one now. So we have what is the container holding? If I click here, you can see. Let me click it here. So this hero content, you can see the hero content is stretching like this. So I'll give it padding right, or you can create 3 divs, one item here, the other one here for the empty space, and the other one for the image. So that's long journey. But if you go and use break tag here, it will affect your mobile view. So instead of breaking it, you use padding for the container so that it will, when you give it padding is space inside, right? So it will push it, so it will block it from stretching to the end. So if you go and break it on the desktop now, probably when you break it, you go and break it from here. On the mobile view, it will say that it will not stretch to the end again, because this one might not come at the bottom on the mobile view and you not leave much space there. So that's why. So it's better you work on the container itself. So this is the hero section for that container holding the content. So I'll just put it here. I think it's before this. So I have dot hero section, then dot this hero content, open my curly braces. Then I'll just give it padding right. So let's say padding right 50 pixels. So let's see that. So you can see the space it created. Let's increase it a bit. I don't want to do 100. Let's see. If your padding or margin is getting to 150 or 200, just know that there are better ways you can do that. So I think this is fine now. Right? So you can see that created space for me there. And if I should, okay, we don't set the mobile view. So let's work on the individual content inside. So I think it's before this. So dot hero section dot, okay, let's call the title. Let's call the title. We really have one in, you can just call them one after the other. Let's call this. So this is an ID, so I'm going to use my hashtag called this. Then remove the margin bottom from this tag. So just the margin bottom 0 pixels. So let's see that for the margin bottom. Though the margin top, we're going to take this one. So we removed it. Let's do for the heading 2. I'm going to duplicate this. Then change this to 2. Then I'll change this on to margin top. So margin top. So you can see now it's okay. Let's increase the width. Instead of me specifying margin 1 and heading 1 and heading 2, I can just call the whole heading there. So the hero section dot let's call this title. Probably we have other H1 there. Then H1. So let's increase the width so I can affect books. So font size, let's say 40 pixels. It's gonna be a big, yeah. Let's see. Let's increase it a bit. Let's say 50. I think this is okay. 50. So we are done with that part. Let's get to the next one. That's the paragraph here and the button. So they are inside the tag called hero intro. So it's going to come before this. I'm going to put it here. So that's hero, the hero section. Then we have the hero intro. So I'm going to copy this. Then our p tag. So I'm going to reduce the size. So font size. Let's use, I think we use 12 and let's use 13 pixels. So let's see that. This is what we have. So real big here. I'm going to add more padding to that. Let's just round it up to 100. Okay. Then the button. So let's work on the button. You can see the space here. So for that particular div, I'm going to add more margin top. Okay, our space is okay. I think this space is okay. End up putting margin top. Alright. So we have this button here. Let's style our button. After this, I can just duplicate this. twice. So I'll change this to button. Alright, so background color. So you have the background color to be black. Then the color of the text is white. Hope you're not sleeping now. Then we have the text. Let's reduce the text. So we have font size. Let me just copy this. Oh, so font size for the text in the button, can reduce this to 12. Let's say we're working. Yeah, so this is what we have. Let's add padding. So padding. So let's say 8 pixels for top and bottom, 19 pixels for left and right. There's a border there. I'm going to remove the border. I'm going to do my border none. Alright, so let's check that. So we have this. Let's add more top. So I'm going to call this 10 and probably this I say 22. So let's give it border radius. So border radius. I'm not connected. No, my speaker went off. Oh, slow. Chat. So probably this. I'm gonna put this. Um,
I'm going to like close that container there, but there's no
this will occupy the place for removal, and this one will come to the bottom. Are we here?
Yes, yes, yes.
Are we all here?
Yeah, I'm looking.
You don't know, then then go me another something to put on that. Get the length. Alright, so let's change the flex direction. So let's go. It will be on the left, very strictly for mobile now. So we stick to the 992, right?
Yes.
So
90.
yeah, max 992. So in that, where is the, because it is the hero container that's holding all the items, right? So hero container is so you see this display resolution, we change the flex direction from row to column. So I'm going to paste this here, then rearrange it. So flex direction, I'm going to remove all of this or connect it if you don't need something. So flex direct display flex, I'm going to do a flex direction, then change it to what? Column. Let's see our screen. So now let's just do the mobile view. See the text of this project. So you can see now, see the mobile view.
It's not showing.
No, this is the let's open.
You can see the mobile has taken the first one taking it up. So let's work on the content now. Everything's at the center, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So everything is text align center. This one to do it at the center. So let's make this a little bit bigger and it's room. Right. So we start with the first point here. Is make remote work. So you know the make remote work now. You can see that is they are all on the same line. If you can't use break like that now, break the HTML, these are to be bound between a mobile. The best way is to separate them, and you can also use flex to bring it to the other side. Right? So let's do that for the first one. So on you sense, you guys let's see. So you let's say and so you try to let's see. So you can see it's already by the side, but it's not on the same line. Are we all here?
Yes.
Okay. So let's add our align item. So this one is going to do your justify content before it takes the other editor to like far away. So align item can just do a center there. So let's see that. So let's remove the extra margin there. I think the extra margin there is. You can see this one came with margin bottom. You know we only remove for the top. You have to remove the bottom so that it can balance. Alright. So I'm gonna copy this heading 2. So let's go and check the heading 2. I'm going to copy this and just put margin for all sides 0. So you're going to be restyling it. All you restyling it for desktop, you're going to change them. You have to put them under the what do you call it? This media frame for mobile. If your heading is bigger than there, so you go is to I'm going to do this on minutes. This video is going to be long.
My post it now.
I need to update this. It doesn't have posted.
Oh, wow. Don't mind now, video on some points.
Only because ọbụrụ na ya afọ ka ọ jee pịta onye nwere anyị dịka spaz alele nrụ maka spaz onye aje wete deni welie tiri n'ime data tọ na sista bute then ọ bụrụ na ma sista amachibi ịmara ndị asị bute ma ha chi onye so Emeka ga-abịa anytime from na abịa ndị datị and we be a possibility to be. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Biko, unu akpọrọ m maka na-asị m notification bụ ọkwa ka ngwaji na-ebujogo the team na diamond pizza.
So let's continue.
I'm gonna give you one plate of food and we are four in this place.
Alright, so where are we? So I have to do margin 0 pixels for all sides. Powers, volume, and code.
Doing class today.
Why?
I was doing for them.
So let's remove the
Not of that pattern of that say.
I'm going to just call it one. No, it's affecting the other one. Yeah, so we have this. Alright, so let's put it at the center. Volume A.
Non-connect connection.
Text align. hero logo of business.